Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
It's the weekend. Woohoo! It is 12:33 a.m. Saturday morning, one of at least two times that you will see me in the next 24 hours. The latter being the Saturday night overnight live show, which will be heavy on Fantastic Four, Galactus. We're going to cover John Byrne's run. We're going to cover several different runs. We're going to go over the relevancy of the Fantastic Four because some of you out there still think that Fantastic Four are not A-listers. I don't know what happened to you as a child, but hey, we're going to do our best tomorrow to reiterate that they are indeed near the top of the food chain. If you'd like to send William to Comic-Con in style, I had to switch. Stream Elements really fucked me. I'm going to deal with you, Stream Elements. There's something's wrong with the way they're doing things, and it's screwing things up really, really, really bad. Might have to sue you. Don't fuck around with me. So we're not using them. So I put the direct link to the PayPal link directly into the chat. It leads right to it. You can do Venmo. You can do all the different forms in there. I was having some problems with Stream Elements, and thought it was a good idea. And when you try to call them for help, they it's not good. So I'm working on that issue right now. I'm going to have to lay some threats against them. But, hey, let's talk to the chat. Don't know if we're going to have Brad tonight since we weren't really sure that I was even going to have a show tonight. There you go. There's a link to Send William Comic-Con in style. We are halfway to the one goal, which was we met the one goal, which is to watch Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, a truly stupid fucking display of cinema. But if we get at least another 140, then we will do on the same day. And it looks like it's going to be Sunday. We will do what I consider one of the things that keeps Jim Carrey from getting dramatic roles and serious roles. Dumb and Dumber. Like I said, I dare you to watch this movie and not be dumber for it. So there you go. The link is tied to the top of the chat. If you want to send me to Comic-Con in style, or even more style than you guys have already had, your contributions do help. There you go. The link is there. There it is. And let's see if we can move the needle. I think one of the things that has been wrong with the link is because of the whole issue I'm having with Stream Elements. So we're not using them right now. So hopefully there we go. There's me with the caffeine. There's me. I'll actually be able to do this again because I'm actually going to Choma's panel, so I'll be able to get up there. But yeah, there I am. I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff. I am going to get my sleep out of the way before I get on the plane Wednesday morning because I will be marathoning the hell out of this thing. Tomorrow night's show and Sunday show and all the way up to Comic-Con, Look at the list of stuff that's going on. What do you want me to cover? I'm already going to be covering the Alien Wreckage. I'm already going to be covering the Dexter stuff. I'm already going to be covering DC All In. I'll be covering Toxic Avengers. I will be covering the Choma panel. We will be at Hall H by Hooker by Kirk. We will be there. I'll be covering the Predators Batland. So I mean, what do you guys want to see me geek around with? And let me know. And like I said, your contributions help that happen. They're helping this trip happen all together. So there you go. And I will get that off the screen. And surprisingly, earlier than I thought he would be, if at all, here's Brad.
And here's what can make the trip even better, guys.
Okay, there. Enough of that. But like I said, I've been having issues with Stream Elements to the point where I've gotten to Cox Cable AT&T level conversation. And for those of you who have been around me when I've had to cuss those motherfuckers out, you know it's bad. Stream Elements, you might be watching because of some of the messages I've sent you. You want to know who the fuck this guy is. It's me. It's me. Resolve the shit. It's going to get worse. All right. I am not the bug up your ass that you want. Trust me. Ask Cox. Ask AT&T. Ask NV Energy. Ask anybody who can't fucking do their job to the point where it inconveniences me. Ask him how their day goes. All right. So fix it. And yesterday. Fix it yesterday. That's how much time you have. All right. All right, William, when you stream or watch Rush Hour on cable TV, a disclaimer will pop up at the start saying this film was created in a different time. And
yeah, I saw that in this news too.
That's on other films too. A lot of Eddie Murphy stuff is on there. If you ever see Soul Man, when in the event that they do put it on there, it's on Soul Man. I think there's a lot, especially movies that were in the 80s and 90s. We were just different people. We weren't so sensitive. And I'm not saying some of this stuff is offensive. It's really fucking offensive. But we were just feeling differently about ourselves in the 80s than we were in the 90s. Rush Hour is tame by you. There are some anything Richard Pryor's in would have to have that disclaimer.
Actually, I had an article go up on Fortress a while back where I said, yeah, Rush Hour is not aged well. Like Rush Hour gets torn apart today.
Rush Hours was 90s. We had already started to soften up by then.
Just like, do you want to stand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It's like,
by the way,
really.
All due respect to Chris Tucker, you're great at what you do. I have to remind myself I'm supposed to be laughing at him. He's not funny. I just don't find him funny. I don't find him entertaining at all. Even fit them anything I've seen him in.
He's abrasive, definitely.
It's like I'm watching a skit where somebody's overdoing it. It's like I'm watching a forced SNL skit. Whereas other comedians I like, it just flows. You know, it's just like, and I'm not, no disrespect to him. I mean, his comedy just doesn't do it for me. Take that off the screen, because I'm going to be using the screen. Yeah. So, Chris Tucker, anything he's in, and then Rush Hour, he was a turnoff for Rush Hour. I thought Rush Hour was overall funny, but I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have seen that movie on my own. So
yeah, I'm there for Jackie Chan, in the whole series, obviously.
Yeah, like I said, if you're desperate for martial arts, then I guess that fits the bill.
Well, and that's not it's not his, as far as like his Hollywood career. It's not his high. I would put it in his highlight reel. It's using the Shanghai movies and like the Forbidden Kingdom and stuff like that. That's where he's really gotten like classic Jackie out of that.
Technically, Clint, once again, I told the truth, because we are in this morning. Tonight was last night. Tonight was Friday. Let's see what I did there. All right. So I'm echoing through Brad, which is something new. That's a new mishap. Usually it's the static. Today it's just the I'm echoing through you. All right, we're gonna say hi to people. I'm only gonna touch on this briefly because it was fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
About the Gunn Horowitz Cavill interview.
Why did you answer that question?
You're asking Gunn why he answered it?
I would not have answered that question. There's no winning for him in that question. That's not even his question to answer, in my opinion. Why if I'm James Gunn, why am I sitting here taking the heat for decisions that had really nothing to do with me? The decision he made was something he was working on. And if he's going to be the one whose ass is on the line and he doesn't want Henry Cavill, that's the only answer I need. That's not one that I like because I enjoyed Cavill, but I'm not going to tell some brand new guy, hey, come inherit some shit. So we'll get to that after.
I didn't like the shade that was thrown at The Rock too, and I put a big thread on my Twitter where I was talking about that. I wasn't a big
fan of that either, simply because. But he had to do that once he decided he had to answer the question. The only other person, the actual person that was to blame, he ain't gonna say shit about that guy because that guy's still there. That guy is his boss.
Okay, so when Zaslav leaves, can he feel free to take the gloves off then?
I don't think he's gonna say anything else after this. He really shouldn't have said anything today, in my opinion, because it doesn't do anything. First of all, well, let me say hi to people because, like I said, it was. I wouldn't have answered the question. All I would have done is said, you know what, that was before there was a DC Studios. I wasn't making the decisions then. It was unfortunate. Next question. That's how that should have gone down for me. So, yeah, we did see some Galactus. Hey, they've been flirting around with releasing his face. They've accidentally done it on one occasion. I won't show that here because it's actually footage for people who are spreading. I don't know where the fuck you guys are getting this stuff, but since I am actually partnering with the studio to give away Fantastic Four tickets for a screening, I won't even be here for it. Sucks, man. But there's a good reason because I'm going to Comic-Con, and me and Ray are going to see it soon as we're done.
Some people have seen some early reactions trickling, and some people have seen it.
Yeah. It's been premiered, and I guess that's probably where some of this footage is coming from. I've heard great reaction, but I'm going anyway. I'm all in. There's nothing that's going to stop me from going to see this. I wonder if the Ace movie is going to be later today or no. Well, it's probably going to be Sunday.
It's going to be Sunday.
Yeah, probably going to be Sunday.
I thought William was like Sundays, because I've got a few things I'm doing tomorrow. So Sunday's the
the last thing you want is for me to sit here and just bash this movie. It's not going to be. Well, no, it's not going to be entertaining for you guys. I mean, just hearing me destroy
it'd be like a therapy session. Like you rediscover like this comedy classic. It's like, oh, Brad was right.
There's no rediscovering. It's trash.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So we can't do it without me here.
I want to hear the Ironheart review because I haven't gotten around to it. So I will most likely. Man, my week has been packed. I'm going to try to get to it. It's in my queue, so they're getting the benefit of the rating. I would have no idea about any of these movie stuff. I'm glad I'm adding to your knowledge there. How you doing, Steven? What's going on? Hi to everyone. How you doing, Music Man? Clinton, don't class them with me. I don't look at box office numbers. The box office numbers. Really, I haven't really talked too much. I mean, I talked about the silliness of the comparisons, but it's like I said, it's a $500 million movie, and that's good. That's good. People don't understand. People. I think the problem with the internet is we don't know what wins are and losses.
Well, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. There's going to be a segment of the internet that's going to be like crying themselves to sleep if this thing doesn't outgross Man of Steel, which it now almost certainly won't.
Which is sad. Either way, if you're rooting for this movie to fail because of the ghost in your past, that's sad. If you're rooting for this the movie to succeed because the current ghost where your brain should be, that's sad too. It's equally sad. Go get into sports. Go get a sports team or get a fantasy league or something like that. Root for actual competition shit. This is movies. What are you doing? Happy Friday. How you doing? Store was good today. Peta. Okay, I don't even know what that's at. Oh, okay. All right, looking forward to Fantastic Four. Talk this. Yeah, we're going to be going over Fantastic Four because, like I said, apparently people need to be reminded about what Fantastic Four is. I think it's just you guys on the internet. I think the general public knows. Calls them cinema. No, I mean cinema and not in the strongest of terms.
They're both released by New Lines. Well, no, Ace Ventura is Warner Brothers and Dumb and Nerds. I mean, they're sister studios, but they're both cinema.
It's actually Saturday. There's no whatever. Please like and subscribe. There you go. William, are you watching F4 in San Diego? Yes, I am. And did you see the social media reaction? I've heard that they're overwhelmingly good. That thing box office is only supposed to open up at a 110 domestic. I got a feeling, judging from me looking at tickets and trying to get into this goddamn thing, it's gonna do more. That's a low ball. I think this is gonna be one of the highest grossing movies of the summer. Especially if Robert Downey Jr. is in there somewhere and that gets out. I just think, plus, like I said, it's not just about Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four has huge advantages over certain movies. It's the fact that everybody's excited about Doomsday. Everybody's excited about Secret Wars. And every movie, even if you release a mediocre, even a Thor movie, you know how I'm not going to go into it. You know how I feel about the Thor franchise. If you released a Thor movie and it's a direct, and they tell you it's a lead into Doomsday or Secret Wars, that movie's going to be a hit. And it's probably going to suck because the previous four did. I'm sorry. Left out fucking.
Well, they were hit and miss. They were hit and miss in Love and Thunder. I mean, it's like I think about as highly of that as William does of Dumb and Dumber.
A $700 million
Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder is about like 10 steps below, about 100,000 steps below Dumb and Dumber.
But the Marvel heads went to it in mass, and if that had been tied to a overarching story, Love and Thunder would have broke. What did Love and Thunder?
It did like 760 something.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah, but that's
a lot of money.
But it underperformed Ragnarok by about like 150.
That didn't underperform. Ragnarok literally led into Infinity.
Yeah, I did 760, and again, it's like I think you put out.
I think it's a horrible movie. I'm not going to defend.
You put out Thor 5 today. I think that does 450 max.
You're out of your fucking mind. You are lost. Dude. Please don't bet. Like I said, don't bet the dog on that. Don't bet your house on that.
I would Vegas. I would Vegas bet. I would bet everything I own on
Vegas
that.
would take you. Vegas would be like, "What's your name, Brad? Here, Brad, before you change your mind, we need you to sign here."
I would bet on that and be set for life after that movie.
As much as I cannot stand any of those movies, if that movie were attached to Doomsday or Secret Wars, whenever that movie goes up, it is going to make a lot of money.
No.
Does it deserve to? No, but you're sniffing pure cane if you think that movie would make that money.
Classic Sins of the Father situation with Thor.
No, it's not. No, it's not. There's been no Sins of the Father when it comes to MCU.
Yes, it is. It's called Love and Thunder.
Okay, Love it. You just kind of killed your own argument there. You absolutely eviscerated your own argument.
It already underperformed.
You brought up no. You Ragnarok. What was Ragnarok in the middle of? You basically just repeated what I said. What was Ragnarok? In fact, Ragnarok was literally a direct lead-in. It's literally one of the last movies you get before you.
Because I mean, this last movie left a horrible taste in everybody's mouth.
Okay, you don't understand how this works, dude. Yeah, apparently.
Chat, do we need to do a poll? That's like I would bet $1 million that Thor 5.
All right.
If that comes out,
you know this is bullshit. That's why I can tell.
That tops out at 450.
What?
That is best case scenario for Thor 5 after Love and Thunder.
Somebody clip this madman. Anyway, that's bullshit, but whatever. The reaction is positive, good. Like I said, I think it's going to do well. I am so looking forward to this. Got the popcorn bucket.
I mean, hell, it's like the Marvels.
Secured.
I mean, the Marvels. Like, I mean, Captain Marvel that came out in the middle of the Infinity Saga, and that underperformed by like 800 million in the Marvels.
What are you talking about?
Going from Captain Marvel to Marvels, the first one had the
dude, you're literally
you
may as well have a shovel,
but nobody liked it. So
you may as well have a shovel and just like right next to your desk there and shoveling dirt over yourself.
I'm gonna read
the Marvels debuted. There was no Infinity War. There was no overarching.
I addressed that. Yeah,
Captain Marvel did.
Yeah, and everybody and how many people liked it?
Captain Marvel made $1 billion, dude.
Yeah, and how many people liked it long enough to come to the sequel?
They didn't give a fuck about the sequel because the Infinity Saga was over. They only cared about that one because
which proves my point.
I'm not going to do this. I'm not talking in circles. You know, now you're just trolling me. I will be seeing inside of William. Did you take anything? I'm not. I don't need Brad Fourth 1000 on the thing. I got Fourth 1000 in the chat somewhere. I don't need a co-host walrus.
I will.
I can only take one.
When Thor 5 comes out, I will fly to Vegas and place this bet. And
No, you won't. You're full of shit. You are not coming to Vegas.
I will do that. I am serious as a heart
Yeah,
attack.
hey, Brad's family, if you're watching this right now, stop this man from harming himself. Because if he makes that stupid bet, he is going to harm himself financially.
If I make that bet.
Brad is not going to. He's going to come out here to Vegas and lose all his money. And he's going to have to. He's going to be one of these homeless people out here sleeping in the heat.
I'm going to come out to Vegas and become a millionaire and buy the lot the Sci-Fi Center's in.
Wow, it's more than $1 million. Way more than $1 million. All right, so, jeez. All right, so the only thing I'm going to comment when it comes to this is that it exposes some stuff and the rest of it's relevant. Everybody on these social medias and these YouTube channels who utters any other name as far as full 100% responsibility for that clusterfuck that was the transition from whatever WB was doing to DC Studios. If there's any name on your list other than David Zaslav, I don't know what to do for you. You want to bring up The Rock? The Rock is on your levels of whatever. The Rock is at the bottom of the blame game. You want to bring up Abdi and DeLuca? They're employees. They draw a paycheck from their boss. If something is going on, if you are running an organization and all these things are going on and people aren't communicating with themselves, if you're talking to James Gunn and closing in on a deal with James Gunn while you got Abdi and DeLuca doing this over here, that's on you. Listen, when you're the boss, you don't get excuses. And when you're a good one, you don't need them. At that time, he wasn't a very good boss.
It's debatable. He's a good one now.
And a lot of these guys came up here and The Rock and the power play, and I'm like, get the fuck off the internet for a couple of minutes, even if it's during this show. First of all, if there was room for The Rock to do anything, that's an indictment on the management. If there was a vacuum for the Rock to do anything, that's a further indictment on the management. If you were sitting down negotiating, and by the way, some people now, at least James Gunn kind of like solidified what I always thought was bullshit. Well, if Black Adam would have made $1 billion, then The Rock would have been, get the fuck out of here. Get on a spaceship and go rotate around the fucking moon. By the time we heard about any of that stuff, it was already done. By the time that James Gunn had been announced as a co-CEO, that was already done. Just like the same time we knew when Dennis Lin had those were broken down, that had happened months before. So if James Gunn is saying on the same day we closed the deal to become CEOs, and now he's finding out about The Rock getting Cavill, that means the Black Adam's box office wasn't going to mean shit either way, because there was no box office to be talked about. So, and I said this before, because both of those, one of them made Suicide Squad, it lost money, he gets hired as CEO. Because rightfully so, they weren't using that as a determining factor or whether this guy could be the CEO and the creative head of a studio. To be honest with you, I don't think The Rock and Hiram and Danny Gardner, I don't think any of those guys had a chance. Remember, Zaslav said, why can't we get that guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy? Not realizing he was already under his own employ. Safran was already there. There was no way that they were going to hire The Rock anyway on that situation. No matter how hard The Rock was trying or whatever, they weren't qualified. They weren't qualified for what Zaslav and them. They wanted that Marvel formula, and they wanted somebody who had success there. That's literally why James Gunn got snapped up so quick after he got fired from DC. So if I got this, if I got a cell phone or a computer or a chat, and I'm a CEO of a company, and I'm working on a deal, maybe I pick up the phone, maybe I open up a Zoom call and say, hey, you guys, hold off for a second. We're real close to signing this guy that we want, who was one of our first choices that said no unless he could bring in somebody else. We're real close, and this pitch he's giving me might exclude everything, because once James Gunn said yes, that was it. It had nothing to do. James Gunn said yes before we even knew what Black Adam's box office was. So everybody that's telling you, well, it was The Rock's failure that cut what? That was always bullshit. That was always bullshit. And I'm not saying The Rock is a saint. See WWE, WrestleMania, and all that nonsense. Him deciding not to be there. That was some bullshit. But here's the thing, though. When you're the boss, you're the boss. It's on him. Leadership. Military. I'll give you an example that I've lived. Military. I was an NCO. I had lower enlisted under me, right? I had lower enlisted, I had specialists, I had all this, but and then when I was in charge of I had other E5s and stuff that were with me at the time. That because I was NCOIC, they fell under me. What happens if one of those guys fucks up? Yeah, they'll get some paperwork done on them. Sure. Do some extra KP. Go clean a rock. Depending on if you're deployed, you you literally go clean sand. That's what the sergeant major. If you did something stupid. Do you know who's getting lit up? Me. If I'm in charge of that group, and there's not going to be any, they were trying, no. Once you took those stripes, you took everything that went with them, and that's for commissioned officers. That's everybody. How many times has there just been in history where a general has been relieved of their command? Remember Abu Ghraib, the prison situation in 2004, 2005, during OIF, or Operation Iraqi Freedom, where they were mistreating Iraqi prisoners? The one-star general got relieved of her command. Janice Kapitsi got relieved of her command for some shit that happened 3 or 4 levels below her. Why? Because she was in command. She was the boss. So if there's a communication breakdown, and conversely, if when I'm leading something or I'm in charge of something, and all aspects and all groups under me don't know exactly what I want and what I want them to be doing, that's on me. If you're running an organization and you have somebody under your umbrella doing this thing, and you have somebody else under your umbrella doing that thing, and it goes south, that's on you. It's not on the fucking Rock. Abdi and DeLuca are employees. They answer to David Zaslav, who had been in his position since April of that year. So you can dislike The Rock, and that's fine. Trust me. Like I said, see the last 2 WrestleManias. And this last one, I can understand why you might not like him. But The Rock on the level of blame is like literally underneath the blame. Abdi and DeLuca, whatever they were doing, whether you like it or not, their boss was there. Their boss was there. It wasn't like they had David Zaslav in a truck with some sound-deafening earphones on. He was there this whole time. He signed off on the deal that made James Gunn the head of DC Studios. And he was doing it before the Black Adam went out there. So if he didn't know what Abdi and DeLuca were doing, or The Rock was doing, that's all of the options are bad.
That's incompetence.
If you don't know what your employees are doing in a movie that's happening under your umbrella is doing, that's not good. And if you did know what they were doing and you still let it go, that's still on you. That's not on The Rock. That's on Abdi and DeLuca. Now, granted, James Gunn is in the situation, so you gotta take his word. But there's a lot of stuff that he's not going to be able to say. The only other person that you can indict is the guy that he currently works for, and you're shepherding your universe. I don't think that's a good idea. I thought the best idea would have been just to give a generic answer and move on. Because first of all, that's water under the bridge. That's water under the bridge. That's we're one movie into this thing now. The question, I didn't see any productive use for that question other than to bring up scars. Because to be honest with you,
there's also Horowitz. I mean, just here real quick. He was the one who did the Cavill interview, like when his return was announced. So he also has a little bit of like a personal connection to it.
That doesn't mean that question needs to be happening now. Why the fuck am I talking about that week 2 into a movie that we want everybody to focus on? And 2, great. He felt he needed to answer the question. I don't know if there was a good answer to that question. So where was I? Oh, this is water under the bridge. We're talking about some shit that happened 3 years ago. This is how you fuck up movie talk. What in the flying fuck does that have to do with Superman 2025 today? Nothing. David Zaslav, for all his spots and shit that I don't agree with, is a better CEO than he was then, than he is, today than he was then. He ain't perfect, Lord, no. But here's the 2 things he did that the previous regime did not do in the entirety of their existence. He got a studio. That's huge. And immediately, when box office numbers started going in, when there was any gray area doubt, whether he meant it or not, whether he was truthful or not, doesn't matter. He came out and he backed his filmmaker. He backed the guy he hired. Now, if he wants to have a private conversation and say, I don't know about it privately with Saffron and Gunn, that's something else. Publicly facing, which is huge, he got out there and he backed his guy. That is massive. Those are 2 things that his predecessors did not do. And they had a lot more time to do them than he did. So bringing up, even though I put the whole Black Adam and all that cow, I put that 100% squarely on the forehead of David Zaslav. But even then, that's 3 years ago. That's 3 years ago. So why after the week after, where you're trying to maintain your 50% or more or less of a drop, and you're trying to keep the ball rolling about Superman, the actual Superman? Look, I love Cavill, but if you're for business sake, if you're Warner Brothers Discovery or DC Film right now, your money's being made by the Superman that's out there now. I didn't see the productiveness in that question. I didn't see the productiveness in answering the value in even answering that question. I didn't. In regards to how I feel about that situation, about how I feel about the story ending and all that stuff, when you're doing business, the only reason people are wanting to talk to you right now is because of Superman. This Superman, 2025 Superman. So yeah, I think that's where this whole social media and all these interviews and stuff can really go south. Because today, in week 2 of Superman's box office run, we're talking about a Superman that's not in that movie. I watched that movie 3 times. 2.5 times. I watched it enough. Henry Cavill's not in that movie. Why am I talking about it? I blew my ginormous head up and put it on David Cornsweat's body to plaster it on that screen to look like a fool. Not Henry Cavill's. I love Henry Cavill. He is my preferred Superman. He's in my preferred Superman movies. But he wasn't in this one. And today, the entire day, where a lot of outlets, I don't know how many times I was tagged in that. Like, I'm not going to see that, guys. Come on. It's in my inbox now. Talking about Henry Cavill Superman, and this is where DC just can't. Just stay focused. And we as a fandom can't stay focused. We're like fucking cats. Where's the laser at? Wow, gotta go chase it. Don't know why. Gotta go chase the laser. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I had all day to think about it because obviously I woke up to this shit. This is the kind of stuff that hurts movie talk. This is the kind of stuff that hurts discourse. You know, I wish James Gunn could have just came up with a generic guy, because I don't know. You know, there's no way he's not the villain there. He didn't do anything wrong. Why would he be answering a question? He's not the boss. He's the boss of DC, but there was no DC. When all this stuff came down, his name was literally drying on the contract. Why does David Zaslav not have to answer those questions if they're relevant to even be answered at this point?
Well, I mean, that's something I was just thinking. It's like, well, I mean, has he faced any kind of reprimand for that whole clusterfuck?
And guess what? I don't need there to be. All right, because when I look on my phone, when I look on my computer, when I look on everything, my cable, about everything that gives me a date and time, last I looked, it's not October of 2022. All right, I don't have a TARDIS. I can't go back in time. I don't want to be a fly on that window, because you know why? I'm not fucking qualified to be a fly on a CEO's wall or window. The fuck am I going to comprehend? I have an opinion. Shit, what is that worth? My opinion's based on shit I'll never know. All right? My opinion is based on conversations I will never be a part of. And we're talking about 3-year-old conversations while we are trying to move into this thing and see if it's viable. I know it's hard. But can we have some... Hold on. I want to slow down here. Can we have some 2025 conversations? I'm asking for a friend. All right, the floor is yours about this.
Well, I mean, that's bring back to what I asked a minute ago. It's like, I mean, why hasn't David Zaslav had to take any heat for that? If he,
Are you asking me? Or are you? Why? Why would I?
Well, I'm asking you. Were asking like generically, like.
There's really nothing to answer for. The decisions are what they are.
Then maybe, you know, I mean, privately at least, I would think maybe God would ask. It's like, hey, I'm getting this question constantly. It's like, I mean, you want to stop hiding behind the trades and maybe like take some accountability here?
There's not. I mean, the asking and answering of this question is not productive in any way, shape, or form. Hey, we're not going to like any of the answers we're going to get, so that's useless. And you know what? If you think you're owed an answer, then you just stay home. Don't go to the movies. He doesn't owe you shit. Would I like to hear that? Sure. Doesn't owe you shit. No CEO of a company owes you shit. You make the decision as a customer to pay, to give you them their money. That's where that goes. So no, I don't need it from him. And like I said, I don't even need to. I damn sure don't need to answer three years ago. Come on. So yeah, I thought that was not productive. I mean,
like I said, here's some non-productive too. This falls squarely under the rumor category.
But
it's floating around.
This
is the hot mic guys. I saw a clip of this. I'm talking about this where one of them alluded to Joss Whedon having some kind of behind the scenes collaboration at DC Studios right now.
All right, time out.
Let me add the asterisk to this. Okay, Jeff Snyder is not reliable. Okay, I'm gonna put that out there.
Why is his name coming up on the show?
He is notorious for like throwing shit out into the ether and just.
Draga, I should kick you out of the chat. I should kick you out of the chat for bringing this up.
If he is actually stupid enough to do this,
oh my god!
If he actually does this,
all right,
you will see me tweet fire James Gunn.
I got to time Joga out here. Sorry, Joga.
You will see me tweet fire James Gunn if this happens.
Sorry, Joga. You got to go away for that nonsense. Oh, goodbye. Why? What? I don't know who the hot mic guys are. I don't care. All due respect to them.
That's why I put the ass. Well, I'm not. The other guy, John Roca. I mean, I'm not.
John Roca. I saw him with that pink sweater thing. Is that what people were sending me?
Yeah, it's him and John. I'm not as knowledgeable about him. He seems a little bit more kind of on the level.
I know who John Roca is. Okay, I know who they are. Listen, guys, please keep the speculation away from here like that. Please, please, please. you see how long we wait to bring up topics on the show. You see how long we wait to bring up stuff on the show. So why would you throw some bullshit in the chat from them, some hearsay, secondhand and third-hand shit? Why would you do? Why do I work hard to not have the channel slip into that?
Yeah. Ray is saying it wouldn't be surprising he's ghostwriting, and like I said, Snyder. I mean, he's a shit stirrer. It's like I don't take the guy at his word on anything.
But you guys took him enough seriously enough to bring him up on the show with some unsubstantiated bullshit.
I give him my 2 cents on that. If Gunn is actually stupid enough to do this,
that's more than 2 cents. That's literally he has now entered the realm of our show. Now
he actually does this.
Oh my god! All right, next, I'm guys. My fuse is lit. My fuse is lit. I don't want to talk about third-hand bullshit. Speak amongst yourselves. I don't I mean, I don't know if any of this stuff is true. Half of these people are half cocked. Why am I having a conversation about bullshit? Do I need to put that in the I don't do tinfoil hat shit.
Again, all I'm doing, I'm just sharing my thoughts on that. Again, I place that under. I consider the source on this, and the source on this is notoriously.
Well, if you guys are considering the source, we wouldn't be bringing him up.
Yeah, but the studio was such a clusterfuck for the last decade.
That is hearsay. No,
you can't really take anything off the table.
I can't. When I cannot put something on the table.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's kind of it's nailed to the table as a result of
Listen, guys, I respect you as chat members for the most part. Please respect what I'm trying to do here on this show. There are plenty of other YouTube channels that literally can make 3-4 more times than I do, have thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers, and do all that crazy stuff because they're willing to smear their thumbnails with unsubstantiated bullshit. That's not here. And if you want to leave, I won't take it personally. But that's not this show. And I'm going to start getting serious about this. All right. Go to Reddit. Go to your other YouTuber. Go somewhere else. This ain't TMZ. I don't do sleaze. All right. All right. Let's see.
As I said, I'll just leave my thoughts on that. If he is actually stupid enough to do that, I will make my feelings known, and they will not be kind.
Yeah, and you got platforms to do that on.
Going, Joss Whedon deserves redemption. He tried.
Oh my God, guys. And see,
we'll leave it at that.
We should have left it at that sooner.
There's somebody else in the chat who I'm sure you see them. But I mean, I'll go ahead and read the William hated Friday.
I didn't hate Friday.
I think he's talking about because Chris Tucker's in it. You're not.
Oh, Ice Cube. I mean, no, he's not. I don't find him funny when he's on the screen. But there's other people in Friday. We're talking about Fridays.
Yeah. Yes,
Ice Cube. Ice Cube is in. Ice Cube is Friday.
Yeah. I mean, that literally is. I mean, there's a whole scene straight out of Compton where it's showing him on his computer. It's I'm writing a script now. So.
Does Netflix have the best strategy of releasing half the season and the final episode separately? It's a better strategy when they have it for. I think their strategy should be week by week. I think their strategy should be. I think the binge era is going away because what ends up happening is when I binge your show, we talk about it and then it's done with. When you do week after week after week, you extend the conversation. And when you're a subscription based, a business like that, you want to prolong those subscription and give people a reason to come back. When you give it to them all at once, they burn through it and they go away. So yeah, I think the best model is the episodic week by week. Saw enough now, just passing through because of the Superman topic. And it's not even a Superman topic, guys. That's a Henry Cavill topic. That's a Warner Brothers, that's an executive topic. That has nothing to do, really, with the movie. One of my favorite action films.
That's more of a me question, probably.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about action, are you talking about science fiction? I mean, wow, that's a broad question. I got a lot of favorite.
We both really liked the Ballerina recently.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the John Wick movies, the Die Hard, the first 3 Die Hards. After that, they kind of fell off.
God, A Good Day to Die Hard is so horrible.
Total Recall. I mean, a lot of my action movies, the original Total Recall, not the second one. A lot of my action movies
they
are going to be
overlap with sci-fi.
a lot of mine are going to either overlap with a lot of comic book movies and a lot of the science fiction movies I'm already into. There's not too many just straight up action ones that I will go see. Now, his voice annoys me. It's Chris Tucker. If you're watching, this is nothing personal. I'm sorry, dude.
Call my man.
That your voice, I got it. I will get up and turn. If certain people are on the TV, I will get up and turn the channel. And I'm not saying that Chris Tucker's not a talented actor. He's just not for me, and I can't watch him anymore in a movie. Let's see. When is Brad watching S4 with the rest of the peasants? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm a peasant because I got to watch it on Thursday night, because I won't be here Wednesday. But
Dort and I, we actually devoted a pretty good chunk of last night's show to this topic. So
yeah, and that's it.
And since we played the trailer, and the trailer was glorious.
Whatever.
So, can't wait.
What's up, Pools? Driving home from Mona. Metal Show was badass. Hometown band Hunter. All right, well, drive safely, man. I hope you're. He said he was going to direct Crypto or another character film. Yeah. Superman could have easily been another collaboration with Gunn. I don't think Zack Snyder at that particular moment, I don't know him. You'd have to ask people who know him. I think at that particular juncture, Zack Snyder was just trying to get as far away from that management and see what would come about. Now, it's been 3 years. Who knows? That guy could change. But at the time of all this is coming together, Zack Snyder got his movie made. He was able to excel, and then he wanted to probably be as far away. I'm assuming he wanted to be as far away from that as possible. Let a new company come in that acts, semi acts like a professional organization. And if there's anything to deal with, then it can be with these new guys. But yeah, I don't think there was ever going to be a collaboration with them then at that time. I'm not saying that now. Like I said, we're 3 years into this.
Something kind of related to that from the Gunn Horowitz interview today that I wanted to ask you about. He also mentioned, and I'm curious about this because this maybe plays a little bit in your thoughts about the Flash. He said something to the effect of he doesn't see the Flash or Aquaman appearing in the DCU within the next 2 years. So, kind of bearing that in mind, does that do anything to kind of impact your theory? Either he's going to leverage the Flash for whatever
what I gathered from that is that he's not going to have a DCU Flash for that while.
That's pretty much what I took away. Yeah.
I can see him using the old Flash as one last time to tie up loose ends with depending on what he's going to do, because he's crazy that way.
Or your theory that we may see Ezra's Flash in Peacemaker or a different DCU, just like a quick cameo, like he's out there,
a quick cameo. You may not even see his face, but you will recognize him.
Zooming through. Well, yeah, he'll be like in the recognizable suit from Justice League or from his Flash.
Or because James Gunn doesn't give a fuck, and nobody's gonna stop him from casting Ezra. Nobody's going to stop him if he wants to. Okay, nothing's ever his fault. The underwear, the movie, having Joe Cavill. Wow, Red came with the shank tonight or this morning. All right, as far as the underwear, yeah, that's his decision. He let Corn Sweat talk him into the draws. So, yeah, that's on him.
Yeah, that reasoning was like, oh, come on, guys.
Cavill getting let go is kind of ambiguous, though, because if you're bringing somebody in to run the show and give him autonomy, is that really fair to say, oh, by the way, inherit this? Was that I don't believe that was James Gunn's job to fix that. That was DeLuca, Abdi, and Zazov's job to fix that, but they didn't. But so the other 2 out of 3, yeah, because he didn't want to. He called Zach, got advice from the right guy, and then let Corn Sweat with the lamest explanation.
Yeah, I need the trunks on because people will be scared of me if I don't have them.
Or they put more at ease if they had the trunks. I'm like, no, if I see a guy walking in his underwear down the street, I'm not feeling at ease.
That's going to be the opposite.
I'm going across the street.
Well, and then you add in the fact he's an alien with superpowers, then you're probably even more on at ease.
Also, Happy Saturday Smash the Life button.
Oh, and also another thing too with the the Gunn horror. Well, actually, this was from the Horowitz interview. I actually DM'd you about this earlier. When we go ahead and play this, I'll pull this up while you read out this comment.
I don't even think we can play that interview, can we?
No, it's not. It's not the interview. It's from that article I shared you earlier.
I don't like The Rock. I don't get The Rock hate. I don't get The Rock hate. He's a businessman who saw a business like DC going down. Well, I told you guys before. if I were The Rock and I had been trying to get this movie made for 15 years, and the fate of my movie is in the hands of what at that time was awful management, like I told you, if I walk through the cockpit and cockpit, the captain's passed out, I'm going to push him aside and I'm going to do my best. We're probably still going to crash, but I'm not just going to stand there and let the plane go. Well, I got too much invested in this.
And this is well, you talk about guns, asses online. Well, so was The Rock's. During when he's got a movie coming out, and this is something I shared on my Twitter earlier, right? Because again, this is like so much. I mean, and among people, other YouTubers I respect. I mean, a lot of this is shifted to like a blame game on The Rock. And it's like, I just can't. Okay. So you're telling me fans who were begging and pleading for
we saw that last night, Sean,
to bring Cavill back as Superman. You're telling us to be mad at The Rock because he made that happen.
Well, and like I said before, if you were pissed off about, well, The Rock came in and did this and The Rock did that, why was there even any opportunity for him? When there's a power vacuum, that's because of one of two things. No leadership or poor leadership. That's it.
It's arguable it was the former by the time he came in.
If there is space for somebody to maneuver in and do any of the stuff that you guys hate The Rock for, then you don't need to look at The Rock. The Rock did exactly what anybody else who had that kind of leverage and had that kind of capital on the line. It was his company, $7. I mean, he saw DC for what it was. Now, you might not agree with what he did, but once again, we would not be talking about The Rock doing anything had there been proper management in place. Blame them.
It's also going back to another thing I posted about too was kind of what you said. It's like, okay, so he had to go to Duluth and Abdi to like get the Cavill cameo approved in the first place. So he did that on their. I mean, he didn't just like. That was not done. He didn't unilaterally do that. He got their approval. He felt. I mean, and again, David Zaslav either approved or did not actively oppose them doing that. Them approving him. Getting the Cavill cameo in there. So again, it's like so much. It's like so you want me to be mad at him for making something that the fandom was clamoring for years happen, and that he did it on the approval of the people running the studio. And somehow that's all his fault.
Yeah, and like I said, with a CEO sitting on top that all these people work for. All of these people work for. So yeah, NCOIC. I'm sorry, I should not have just thrown that out there.
No, I knew what it was. It's like,
Brad knew what a non-commissioned officer in charge. It means I was the head NCO in charge of whatever given product, and I answered directly to my OIC, which is the officer in charge. But yeah, we didn't get those kind of excuses, man.
Anyway, bringing it back to this was not the Horowitz interview, but this is like I think this is a snippet out of Hollywood. We'll go ahead and read the comment. And I'll bring it up.
I always knew that Black Adam box office was not going to determine the fate of the Snyderverse. The argument was always I thought it was bullshit, but so many people ran with that. And like I said, if what James Gunn is saying, which I thought was true, if the day that they closed on it was the day that they got Cavill, which means that's the day that they shot the shit, right? That means, and also when he's talking about bringing Cavill back, that's all stuff that we heard about before. So James Gunn was already inked in as the CEO when it was just happening. So that means they weren't talking about the box office.
So again, the Rock is getting the approval for this cameo from people who run the studio who are also aware that this other thing with Gunn is going on. And so he does this on their approval. And how exactly is all this his fault? With them approving this in the knowledge that we're also going to approve a fresh take on Superman with Gunn that stands at odds with Cavill's Return of Superman. And
according to James Gunn, this is always part of the plan. This is always part of the negotiation.
Again, somebody help me out here. How is this all The Rock's fault? How is this The Rock's fault? How is this him like strong arming or like elbowing or being an egomaniac with this? Like he got approval from people at running the studio to make the Cavill cameo happen. The people at the studio approved that, knowing they also had this thing with Gunn going on.
Or even if they didn't know,
and that doesn't reflect well on them either.
That's on Zaslav.
It doesn't reflect well on them either, because if they know when they approve, well, that doesn't look good. If they don't know that's happening and they also approve, well, then you don't know who's running the store, who's running the ship.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I always hated that, but there we go. So.
But okay, I'm gonna go pull this up now with again the thing I sent you earlier.
By the way, this is the only night we're talking about this bullshit.
Oh,
Tomorrow's
it'll
night
come
we
back.
are
It'll come back, I
no,
guarantee.
not here.
Okay, so this is he was interviewed by Entertainment Weekly, and this is a snippet from that. Um, and this is relevant to Superman and the franchise, and I think probably relevant to like all the stuff we've been speculating with Peacemaker season 2. According to James Gunn, the idea of pocket universes is fundamental to what's being told in the DCU. And this is Gunn being quoted. Yes, absolutely it is. You see in Peacemaker season 2. It's just Lex's version is much jankier than the one in Peacemaker. The one in Peacemaker works better. What the whole season of Peacemaker revolves around is that I think a Peacemaker is more of a high concept story about one other world. It's more akin to Philip Roth's The Counter Life than it's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay, you read that way too fast.
Oh, sorry. Okay, do you want to hear it again?
Nah, but just give me the nuts and bolts of it.
So basically, he's saying that that pocket universes, as we saw in Superman, that's not only very much a part of Peacemaker season 2, but he describes it as fundamental to the DCU's future. Like this will be a fundamental component of the DCU's pocket universes.
Okay, I'm always been down with that.
Yeah, well, I mean there's implications to that, i.e., Elseworlds. I mean, and you said I think I want to do Elseworld stuff. I mean, the Batman is the only like active thing with that right now. I mean, I think we can all probably, it's safe to assume that Joker is a 2 and done. but yeah, I shared this with William earlier, and I thought, okay, so what is this for? Like everything we were like kind of like.
Oh yeah, I remember. I did answer you.
Yeah, we everything we're theorizing and breaking down with like the little snippet of the Peacemaker again, the cell phone video portion of the trailer, which he did also say we are going to get a proper trailer at Comic-Con, which I think will be this trailer in its proper released form. But from that snippet where we like did the show where we talked about, okay, this can go a couple different ways, potentially ways we want them to. It's like, does this comment move that in any particular direction for you?
And I said, I think my response to you was neither way, something like that, because I don't know enough, and without information, I don't see it yet. I have to see more. I'm leaning towards no, but the possibility is always there. Whenever you're talking about other realities and other established realities, and you already have things that are in those established, like you have the Batman, and you have other dimensions and things. And if Constantine ever happens, it's probably going to happen in that Elseworld. So I don't know.
This did like elevate it somewhat for me when he specifically said it's fundamental to what he's doing.
Yeah, so which is good to hear.
With the fact that again, it's not just like a plot device in Superman and a plot device in Peacemaker season 2. Like this is like, no, this is actually going to be in the DNA of everything
which is basically him being DC Comics. He wants to control the narrative about things went down, leading to him becoming CEO. His work is being questioned compared to what we had before, which is more successful and what the audiences wants. I agree with all that, but my final judgment on that is, once again, regardless to what you think James Gunn may have done and what he's talking about, he's an employee. At the end of look, we're employees. If there's a blame game, because you know what the boss can do, the boss can say no. The boss can make a phone call and say, no, I want to do this or that. The boss didn't. And none of these people that we're bringing up are the boss other than Zaslav. So as far as all that other stuff is, listen, I always said at the beginning that he should frame his responses and stuff in ways that are more productive to his product. He doesn't need to be getting on Twitter. He doesn't need to do, in my opinion, every single interview with somebody who's going to bring up these things, because these things aren't promoting the product. So, I mean, as far as his work being compared to what we had before, that's fair game. That's something that he walked everybody who said yes to this. I'm sorry, I don't, I'm not going to say there's any sympathy to be needed for you, but I don't, when it comes to that, he's fair game and Zaslav is fair game. That is a consequence.
I mean, Zach knew it when he was coming into his Superman movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and Matt Reeves knew when he was going to his Batman movie. So yeah, you can't take the heat to the kitchen.
I don't think, but his work I haven't seen him respond into that though. I haven't seen him respond into his work being questioned as far as, the previous stuff being put up. Not him directly. We've had that conversation, but I haven't seen interaction where he's like, going back at people necessarily that are. But yeah, the money and all that stuff. But once again, you also have to understand the situation now. The comparisons to Man of Steel, we spent hours the other night explaining why those may not be the most fair comparisons you can make because we're not in 2020 or 2013, because the situation is different financially, politically, for everybody involved, including the audience. So I always wanted to shelve that conversation because, even in the whole adjusted dollar thing is part of it too. So the comparisons always tend to leave out the bones needed to even have that comparison. And then you realize this, probably we shouldn't be having that. So, all right, let's see. I don't right now I'm not taking anything James Gunn says. I'm taking it all with a grain of salt right now because he's not going to tell us what's happening, and he's going to try to swerve us. So he's not going to tell us what's happening yet. That would be kind of pointless on the end of it. So these little breadcrumbs that he's leaving, I'm not going to be the seagull that comes down for them because somewhere there's a whole loaf of bread, and I'll wait for that. Let's see, my wallet is closed. Straight wallet's closed now. Straight pass. I gave Superman a chance, but no, straight MTO. That is, listen, that is your prerogative. That is your power as a customer. What Bell's doing, what people are doing on the other end of it, they're exercising their power as a customer. That is the most powerful tool we have. It's not YouTube. It's not Twitter. It's not a hashtag. The most powerful thing that a customer has, the ultimate level. Boss level that they have is whether they decide to buy what's being sold. So
I'm still and kind of relating to that. I mean, we're breaking down last night also this spike that Man of Steel's gotten in the wake of on HBO Max in the wake of Superman's release, along with a few other along with a few other Superman movies and shows. Also, again, Peacemaker, that was reported that got a spike. Again, it's like I kind of see that, but also it's again because there's a second season of the show on the way. It's like I would expect.
Well, because it's him. James Gunn is the most marketable thing besides crypto about Superman. If you're watching a movie that James Gunn created and he's been all over the marketing, you're going to probably go into HBO Max and type in his name, and guess what's going to come up? A lot of stuff, including Peacemaker, which you're probably going to watch first. Why? Because you just saw him for a couple of seconds in the movie, so it makes sense.
Yes, it is, Aaron. Couldn't agree more.
Whatever.
Either way, folks, better watch out.
Either way, folks, say goodbye to having variety and actual formula from DC and Marvel because he's always looking the same shit in the company. I'm not ready to concede that with one movie, and he's not even going to be redirecting all the movies. So.
Apparently, he's not even going to be directing Creature Commandos season 2. He said that, that's not going to be me.
This is stupid. I don't know what's dumber, the screen name or the comment. But, let's see. We're going to go do theirs. You'll see if he's ghostwriting. You'll see because his writing style versus like a Lindelof or a Tom King or something like that.
No, she's talking about Whedon. That was the thing about Whedon.
Oh, Whedon. Yeah, no, we're not bringing that up.
Yeah, that's well. You would also know his style. And like I said, Gunn, you better not be dumb enough to do this.
Nah, guys, listen. I told you guys last night. I've told you the conversation that we have here. If you watch the shows prior to tonight, you see what kind of conversations we have here. Be consistent with that. Don't bring bullshit to the table. Don't bring unsubstantiated bullshit. There are a lot of foil-head YouTube channels all over the place. And I urge you, if that is what you desire, to go. I hate to lose you as a viewer, but we're going to have the conversation that I want to have. We're not going to have the screaming heads. We're not going to have the rumor bullshit unless we get something substantiated by actual people with credibility. We're not going to do the third, the third hand stuff. And these topics, like I said, not being a news channel, just because something happens doesn't mean we need to talk about it. There's a whole lot of science fiction, horror, and fantasy that's happening right now. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end up on our screen. If you want that tossed salad mentality, listen, by all means, it's a preference. Go see that. But I get aggravated when people who are regulars to the show come into the show as if they have never watched this show before. So, yeah, I don't have an alter ego. I've been consistent. And my patience is just not there anymore for this. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm skipping certain ones because of just what I just said. Well, okay. Well, somebody bought the comment up on my screen, so once that happens, I have to address it. Let's see. I don't care about Jeff Snyder.
Yes, the customer is always right, as business people say.
Yeah, but there's a caveat to that too, though. The customer also has to be brought along too. When a customer walks in, and never had any experience buying plumbing parts or buying anything to replace their P-trap or anything like that, what's that customer going to do? You know, I mean, you can say the customer is always right, but you know, they it's the retail environment and the people who are doing the selling. It's their job to educate that customer. Otherwise, your customer is just going to wander aimlessly. Let's see. No, I watched enough channels where you know the ghost chasing just leads to something that's just not entertaining. So. Anthony William, do you think the reason why the streamers originally started with the binging model had something to do with people had attention span and not? I don't know why they did it that way because to me the binging model never made sense to me.
Yeah,
because you can't really watch the show with anybody. So it depends on how much time I have versus somebody else. So yeah. I can't commune with you about this show because if your dumbass binged all 9 episodes in a day and I only had time to watch 1 or 2, me and you can't talk about that show.
I remember like when Daredevil, when like Marvel Netflix first started, and there was that was when like kind of like the binge craze was sort of at its peak. And I mean, I watched that show over the course of like 2 weeks, the first season. Because that's just how I watch anything episodic. It's like I like to take my time. I like that breathing room. You know, I got shit to do other than watch TV. So even though technically it's part of my job description, but you know, I mean, again, I can't. You know, I like to let things breathe. So yeah, I've never been a binge watching guy, and I think that is kind of dying out. So I think they are kind of moving more towards dropping things episode again. Although Netflix, I guess they're holding on to it. They're still doing you would drop the whole season at once.
I'm skipping. He made the false claim of bringing him back. How is that false? Are we talking about the same thing? Because at the time he got approval to do so. If the people above the rock said yes, that's not false. Now it didn't work out, but that's not a lie.
It wasn't false. He was in the movie.
Yeah, and they were negotiating with him until this situation with James Gunn went faster than they were realizing because they weren't being kept in the loop. You'll never convince me how that's not incompetence. When you're negotiating with the studio head that you're trying to bring in, but your other people that are handling things are not in on that to the point where, you know, where that doesn't happen. I mean, whose fault is that?
Ain't the Rocks. 90 Racks asks if Peacemaker jumps different universes with DC. Yeah, this is also I was thinking about. It's like, what other? I mean, you think the Flash might be the case, but like, what other like DC? or like how much like zigzagging between the two realities you think he might do in the is he gonna like jump from one and then like kind of mainly stay there?
I don't know. I think the main thing that they're doing is alternate versions of themselves. Like the Levis Street Gang is gonna be alternate versions of themselves. I don't know about any other familiar yet. He's planning on surprising us, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. I'm just going to assume. Obviously, we know there's another Peacemaker in another dimension, and it all depends on too how many dimensions. He's only spoke of the one. So how many is he going to unveil? And that'll be something I find out next week.
That's in the show, and then of course the gun comments saying Pocky universes are fundamental to what I'm doing. So I mean,
I would like to see the Time Trapper. Be honest with you.
Yeah, I would presume that it's going to involve more than just one alternate reality or two with including the Matt Reeves Batman universe.
Yeah, but I'm not going to assume that or assume that those elements will be in Peacemaker. I just have to wait and see. If The Rock had taken over DC, he would have done. He wouldn't have done. Yeah, he would have done his own thing, and you guys would have hated it. So, let's see. All right.
Flash may travel to DC. Well, again, Williams been speculating. We've been speculating this for a hot minute here.
Well, because of that's what I said at the beginning. I got get laughed at, but
well, he's the character, who's the easiest to facilitate, interdimensional travel with. I mean, you can do it with other characters like you were seeing with Peacemaker, but I mean, the Flash, like that's literally baked into his power set. So
he made that cameo happen, and he made that promise with the backing of the people who he's working directly for. There was no reason. That's not a lie. And I'm being honest with you, if Abdi and DeLuca weren't being kept in the loop about all these other conversations, even they weren't lying. So but once again, I don't blame middle management. I blame the manager. I blame the exec. I blame the guy at the top of the food chain. If you're at the top of the food chain, if you're at the top of the mountain, by virtue of that, you bear the responsibility.
Oh, Daniel's got an interesting one here. What do you think of anything of the official DC accounts of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Harley Quinn? He's like talking about like updating like their Twitter images.
Those aren't just but you realize that those Twitter handles represent
those aren't specific to movie or TV versions. Those are the those are the, like for the characters, like in the absolute sense.
Yeah, I think I don't see any other than there's stuff maybe coming up in DC Comics that we'll find out about when it comes into Comic-Con. I mean, I'll be able to answer that question better for you at the end of next week. All right. I had a lot of fun at Black Adam.
I did too. I loved it.
I haven't put it up there yet, but I had a lot of fun at Black Adam. I saw potential in Black Adam. I wish Black Adam had been made entirely under a better set of managers. I think Black Adam could have done a lot more if it hadn't been a circus running DC at the time. But it is what it is. Let's see. That's how you feel about the Flash, Ray. Same level. I listen. I like the Flash. I
do too. Again, like I said, I think time is going to be kind to that. And again, as is just William, we were asked about doing a watch party for the Flash, and he kind of wanted to hold off on that until we get past Superman. And with the stuff happening in Peacemaker season 2, I suggested maybe like somewhere within that like 7-week period of episodes are rolling out. Maybe that might be the time to do it. This is another thing. She's bringing up a good point. I could be wrong, and things are legit, but I don't feel good about how information's coming out. Aren't questions screened before the interview? Not always. I mean, there have been times where I've had to screen questions for interviews, but now I haven't interviewed any like studio CEOs or anything like that. So I mean, this is kind of a different situation for interviews I've done, but and also, I mean, now we talk about screening questions. Like the more common thing probably is the people being interviewed. Like if there is a topic they don't want, that's like a no-fly zone for them, they will state up front or have their rep state up front. Yeah, don't broach this topic. I have had that in interviews I've done where they've said, don't, this topic is off limits, and honor that request. So,
by the way, guys, we got demonetized for the Mortal Kombat shit yesterday. So
it was worth it. Worth every penny.
Yeah, whatever. It's not even worth the 14 cents that I lost.
It's worth every penny. That money's like we take that money and send it to Mortal Kombat.
They might need it.
They're not going to need it.
I don't think that's going to do very well. But you guys have fun. Thoughts on the new F4 trailer with Galactus walking here? Really? Yeah, I like that one. I can't play it here, but I've seen the one you're talking about. And like I said, they're waiting for that big full-on reveal, and I can't wait to be there for it.
Yeah, James Gunn, you want to heal some wounds with me and other fans? Like, that's a great idea. Brendan Foster for Batman. Watch Life After Friday if you haven't. You'll see why.
Yeah, the Benjamin model's dead now. Yes, it is.
I don't know if I'd say dead, but it's dying. It's dying out.
Yeah, they broke up the Sandman after they broke my heart by canceling the show. Thanks a lot. Let's see. I can't do binging. I mean, it fries my brain. And like I said, if it's a show that I want to talk to people about, everybody's watching it.
Whatever floats your boat. It's not my way to do it.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Like I said, some of the stuff he said and was wishing for was ridiculous. It would have been if somebody else was coming up with any ideas. So I either have The Rock coming up with his ideas, or I have Hamada about to give me Gleek the monkey.
Yeah. I mean, and let's also, let's get, again, that's the thing I said on my Twitter thread today. It's like, what was The Rock? I mean, this whole, it's always portrayed as like this nefarious, hostile takeover, like, him trying to take over DC. Okay, who was he trying to take it over from?
Yeah, there's nobody who's driving the car. The main person The Rock screwed over was Hamada because he went over his head to get the.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
He wasn't doing his job. He wasn't doing anything, dude.
Yeah, that's like that's a earned screwing.
He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't. I mean,
Hamada. His brilliant strategy was let's do nothing with Superman.
Hamada had 5 years to do whatever he was going to do, including working on Black Adam, including getting things going with A-listers. He had 5 years to do. He didn't do anything. He wasn't the guy for the job. If you were any good at your position, nobody gets to leapfrog you at that. Nobody. The fact that he went around you and the people that you both work for didn't find you relevant enough to say go back to Hamada. That tells you everything about his tenure.
I mean, yeah, Hamada, like with Superman, with him, we got one cameo with no head and another cameo in silhouette. And by the way, like initially, the black, the Superman cameo, initially was filmed without Henry because they didn't know if they were going to be able to get him for it. So it was like kind of similar to the Shazam one, where it showed the S, or it just showed him in a way where you couldn't see his face. So again, other than The Rock, doing what he did, that would have been the third time in a row we would have had a Superman appearance in this connected universe where it's like his appearance is obscured.
Brad and William, do you think that the reason people were so upset that they cast Pedro as Reed Richards is more of a fact that he's been playing everything? I don't know who these people are.
Yeah,
I've never been playing. Yeah, I mean, remember, the internet is not the world. Let's see.
William and Brad, why do you think Superman sat on the sidelines for so long? Contract negotiations with Cal just clues success. Clues success.
Well, it's what they had done. They didn't want to take on those characters because of how they had handled the previous situation. After Justice League, they irradiated those characters to the point where anything that they would have done would not have been accepted. They knew that they couldn't. They had irradiated those. They couldn't. It was like it was like nuclear fallout. That's why they gave you Shazam. That's why they gave you Harley Quinn. That's why they gave you all these other types of movies, because they did not know how to handle the A-listers after they dropped the ball on them. You can't go back after, and they didn't want to work with Zack anymore, so they couldn't. They had nowhere to go. So that's why Superman sat on the sidelines. Let's see. Swamp Thing was a tax issue. That was, somebody should have been fired over that, because they did not do the proper paperwork or whatever for the tax break. It was like a $44 million tax break. And then the way they released it, and then they let you know that it was being canceled, so nobody watched it. It's kind of stupid. All right. Anthony, I'm not tired of him. I'm not the biggest fan of casting Mr. Fantastic, but reviews say he's good. All I got to do is go in, and when I watch the movie, is he recognizable as who he's supposed to be? And if he's there, I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you need to see Aquaman anytime soon. He's building his universe with different characters. He's going the JLI route, and when you're going the JLI route, you don't. I mean, some of these characters that we traditionally know as the DCU are not going to be as higher up. When you're telling a JLI story, the first Green Lantern you would have seen would have been Guy Gardner, even though we'll see the rest of them. But he's a fan of JLI, and I can see the influences in his work. I'm not a fan of JLI, but when you got characters like Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific involved before you have a full-on Trinity, that means he's chosen a different road, and that's fine. I mean, I can decide to watch it or not. So far, I've decided to watch it and then play it by ear. All right, so apparently, Brad, we are only watching Ace Ventura on Sunday.
No, you guys let me down. So disappointed, all of you. We could have had the greatest toilet scene of all time as part of the Side of Sinner's legacy.
Dumbest movie.
It's okay. I'm a limo driver.
For those of you, that wasn't funny, unless you're into that shit.
Then he runs out through the tunnel and falls off.
And I this is something that James Gunn is up against, and anybody who would have ever taken up DC's history and the frequency and how they have misled and not treated the customer like a customer. They're having to pay for it, even though most of these guys had nothing to do with it. That is still, I mean, it's a branding issue. They have to totally rebrand themselves. The cancellations, the announcements of shit that didn't happen, the hiding of the A-listers for years, the releasing bad movies that Z-listers nobody cares about. These are things that they're up against right now. And like I said, that's why if Superman hits 500 million, you're dealing with all of it. Everything you just brought up, everything we've all brought up about from 2017 to 2022. All of that is like weight that you're pushing up against right now. So, it's going to take a while to get to that. And some people won't come back. Some of these people that you had, they're never going to come back. And that's the right of a customer. The right of a customer is never to come back. People don't like having their time wasted. And even if the new Superman is enjoyable, what do you have to show? Some people are going to ask you, what do you have to show for the story that you got started on and never got finished? And you people spent all these years telling people to move on. They did. They moved on to something else, and it wasn't always DC. So the reality of that is there. So yeah, I 100% understand.
Yes, yeah, and see, that's the thing too. Is like so much of like when they tell you to move on, it's like they're giving you half the sentence of what they're saying. What they really say is move on to the thing I want you to move on to.
Yeah. Sometimes
move on to the thing I like.
Oof. Wow, William, you should do it. The Justice League International, Justice League Europe, and I'm gonna have to build up some gumption to do that. I don't know about all that. Do you think Cody and Roman are leaving at the same time since they're both starting to shoot Street Fighter? Possibly. They don't have to shoot their scenes at the same time either. And with Roman, it's a lot of CGI. He could be anywhere filming though, so it may be. In fact, Roman Reigns just came back. He could have shot. I don't know when does the shooting begin on that. Not that I'm going to see it. William, I know you don't like the idea. So why? But knowing how popular crypto is, okay. I think James is going to introduce both Ace and Titus. I wouldn't. The guy had monkeys typing hashtags. I would nothing. Puff the Magic fucking Dragon could be in the next movie, and I would be like, "Yep, that's about right. That's about right." So,
I guarantee again, it's like I think that's going to be the origin of Gleek. He's going to be one of those monkeys.
Fucking monkeys. They don't have a flashback, and he got irradiated. And where's Jan? And one of his henchmen, those people that were typing the F1, F-gun, K1, those are going to end up being the Wonder Twins. Oh well. Could have moved that show to South Carolina. I think there wasn't time. When this thing broke down. There wasn't time to make the switches from what I understand. But, all right, guys, man, why did what was this? I came in here to relax and talk to my geeks. Guys tried to derail my damn stream. Stop it. Be warned tomorrow night. No bullshit, please. The rumors, like I said, you don't need the Sci-Fi Center Presents to talk shit like that. We don't need that. You have so many other people who are really good at it. They're really good at sensationalized thumbnails. They're really good at taking half truths or quarter truths and stringing out 2 hours of hate and talk about that. There's a lot of people, and even if I did do that, they're better than me at it. They're better than me at it. So I mean, yeah, let's do better tomorrow night, please. All right. Yep, Puff the Magic Dragon. A dragon, a hallucination, but you know that's what they said. All right, guys. So let's see where we're at. Did we make anything? Did we? Nope. Because you guys took more joy of annoying me in the chat and on the stream with Brad than you did. Yeah. See, we didn't get anything.
Disappointed, you guys. We're only gonna get one comedy classic as that too. Oh well, so it's still gonna be Ace Ventura. So we're gonna have that feeding that bird scene at the beginning, the rhino scene. We're gonna have the.
Yep. And by the way, while we're watching and laughing,
we're gonna have the eye
guys. When you guys are laughing at that, you know who else was watching that? Producers, directors,
people who were signing Jim Carrey's next check.
Studios that were making serious movies that could have really catapulted him into that. They were watching that too.
Well, catapult him into a bigger house. What did Gio?
Oh yeah, you just said Wallace close for me too. What'd I do? Damn. Fine. Let me starve. Fine, Bill. Fine.
What time? It's gonna be Sunday. I don't think we'd set a lot of time yet.
On time. It all depends on how crashed I get on that Saturday morning. All right. So there we go. It looks like we're gonna be eating mayonnaise sandwiches at least for one of the days of Comic-Con. I'll be with Rhea, so whatever crumbs fall out of Rhea's purse or whatever Rhea's eating, because where we're at with the fundraiser. Rhea, if you will please just don't eat everything off the plate. Put the plate on the ground and I'll get on all fours and lick the plate clean, because apparently that's what the chat wants me to do. So that's cool. What conversation? What we had like a myriad of conversations that needed to be shut down. Which one are you talking about? Cup of noodles. Yeah, cup of noodles without the cup. That's where we're headed right now. Let's see. What is that? What is that emoji?
I think it's cup of noodles.
Oh, it's cup of noodles. Okay, literally. What was it? Okay. Mayonnaise sandwich. What the hell? That's where we're at. We're at zeros across. Well, we're at zeros at this portion of the campaign. We raised money, but yeah, we're at zero, man. Mayonnaise sandwiches without bread. Mayonnaise sandwiches without bread. Might just be mayonnaise. How's the kid cuisines? Yeah, that's high end for us right now. We're looking at Happy Meals. Oh wow, what the hell's going on, Sergio? Well, good luck.
Oh, good luck with that. I hope it's not too. I guess it is serious. It's surgery, but it's serious enough.
Oh, now I don't. Okay, sorry. I'll have to starve then. I don't. Listen. What I learned in life? Stick to what you're good at. I'm not good at lying. You guys can see right through that shit. I'm not good at feigning excitement about things I don't care about. That entertained you? Ooh. And I'm not good at. I like to have a lot more information before I make myself look like a jackass on a stream. And information flows. It comes out quickly. It changes. And if you're hearing it from this guy and that guy and hearsay, you're hearing it from people who have 50%, 50% success rate when it comes to their truths. How am I going to perfect that? How am I going to perfect that? The style of the show is I like to inform you. I like to keep you informed. I like to talk about things I know about. I mean, there are plenty of people who do talk about things they don't know about. And maybe, that's their thing. That's just not me. I wouldn't even want to watch myself if I were in that case. So yeah, the rumors, the speculation, the unsubstantiated, especially from those sources, I don't have any time for them. I don't have any time for them. Now, something like that were to pick up speed, but even still, that particular person that's being talked about has no mention or place on this show, unless he's involved in something that's actually happening. That his name is at the top. Otherwise, we're just bringing up why we don't like him. Wow, a YouTube stream about why we don't like somebody. That would be so brand new. Wow, that would be so unique. I might get like 20,000 followers at that because no one's ever done that before. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope everything's okay. I hope you're not. Yeah. Hope it's outpatient. $5, hey, dude, that's expensive. What the hell?
$5 for a hot dog? Yeah, that's
$5 for a hot dog. I mean,
that's the best hot dog in the world.
You know, I mean, granted, those things I showed you guys before are like in the $7 or $8, but look what you're getting though. You're getting like literally, you're getting unhealthiness wrapped in unhealthiness. There you go. Those things are big too, by the way. Look at that bottle of those things are big, and boy, they're so tasty. I can't wait to get them.
I think that kind of. I don't know. Does that cover everything for the evening?
Yeah, $5. Oh yeah, $5. Yeah, it's true. San Diego. That's true. All right. Fake it to you now, babe. I would become a joke. I would become a joke if I did that. All right, guys. Tomorrow. Okay. I'm obligated, William. So, how much for both the night? Oh my God, I can't even mouth this. How much for the 1995 horrible movie, 2021
classic.
horrible movie,
Could have been
Mortal Kombat
better.
movie watch parties a week before Mortal Kombat release?
Can't wait for it.
We could.
We will do it for $2 American.
Now, at least a bill, at least 100. Like now. There's the link. I put the link in there. I'll do both of those shit movies for 100. Hold on, let me here. Because last time you guys did this and you cats kept on asking me.
We are not doing Annihilation, Rhea. Even I have a line I'll draw more.
Annihilation, 150 before the stream ends. There's the link. Don't be like, who bought up that shit last time? Bought up a whole bunch of stuff and then said he was going to make a donation and then bailed. That was like, come on.
I mean, I do need to actually hop off in a minute here, so it's like not much of a stream, a time frame for that Annihilation to do it. Scorpion's Revenge, though, I could definitely add.
All right, Brad, if you need to go, I'm going to stay on for one more minute. See if you guys are full of it.
1 more minute. I'll stay for this minute.
That's enough. That's enough time for you guys to click. If we do it before the stream ends, I will do that movie. I will do those 2 movies, and I'll do the Pet Detective 2 on Sunday.
We're already doing the Pet Detective 2 on Sunday.
Yeah, we're doing that, and so I'm already watching that. So yeah, so it'll be 3 movies. So yeah, it would definitely have to be on Sunday. Let's all pitch in for those 250. Yeah, do it, guys.
You got a minute.
What is that? A dragon and fire? What is she? Hey, Rhea, this new Rhea, the bleed you slowly, Rhea. Am I gonna be safe in San Diego? You gonna get mad at me? Am I gonna be missing? There's like an ocean out there. I should be turning my back when I'm enjoying the ocean. Rhea's gonna take care of me. And with a smile, she'll do it with that chirpy smile, that smile of hers. Like, hey, William, I think I've had enough of your shit. I think I'm going to toss you over the pier. I'm like, oh, shit. So, but like I said, let's see. The Dark Knight. Everyone donate $10. Yeah, do it. Where are we at? I'm hitting refresh. Yep, we're still at the 0 here, guys, for that, because I set up a new link. Because StreamYards, you motherfuckers. All right, not StreamYards, Stream Elements. Oh, you motherfuckers! Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. All right, and you can also, the link is in the oops, almost reloaded the stream. The link is in the description as well, because I took out the Stream Elements ones and made did the other one. So where are we at here? Where we at? Up, still not moving the needle. No, we're raising this fund. The fundraiser, the target is for so that I can keep up with you in San Diego. So while you're eating the nice French delicatessen stuff and all that stuff, I won't have to be outside the window with some cornflakes in my hand. So we got to do this before that is tonight. Let's see. You could eat at Bucky's next time I'm in Texas. There's a deadline, yeah, for the end of the stream. Let's see, or 3. I don't know. No, we got about a minute left because Brad's starting to dose. Because remember Brad's on 3-hour time difference. That doesn't look like we're going to get any traction there. So, all right, guys, we'll be on the air tomorrow, probably around 8:00. Please like, subscribe. And if you feel like donating, the description is in the chat, and I'll put it in the community page. If we reach it before we hit the air tomorrow night, who knows? I mean, my heart may soften, and we may watch these dreadful movies. No, I cut the deadline in half. It was actually supposed to be 300, but I cut it in half. So that's why we're doing. That's why we did Ace Ventura. We did the one and not the other. We were guaranteed to do part 2, but not Dumb and Dumber. If we had reached 300 before that deadline ended, we would have done Dumb and Dumber, which is, there you go. All right, guys. I will see you later on today because I don't think we're going to be streaming until then. Be prepared for some Fantastic Four. We are not doing for open panel tomorrow night. I can be bribed. Listen, I'm not suffering for free anymore. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.